Hey everyone, we are live with episode 6 of Dad, Dave, and the Elephant. I'm joined by Tim the Elephant. Tim the Dad will be joining us momentarily. He was having a computer issue, but it is 6 o'clock Central Time, 7 o'clock over on the East Coast, and we just wanted to get started. So welcome to you who are watching us live. Tim, you have anything to say? Talk about some of the stuff you've been playing outside of the pirate games.
Well, that's not fair because we had a whole pirate day.
I know, but I want to wait for Tim to show up so we can talk about that. But some of the stuff that you've been working on, like some of the stuff you've been playing and preparing for your channel stuff.
Massive Darkness. Been playing a lot of Massive Darkness from Simon, and that's been an absolute blast. Loving it. Outside of that, just been, we did Caverna Cave vs. Cave, which, as you already know, I thought, what a boring, mind-numbingly boring game. But that's been pretty much it for us right now. And then we're going to be working on another Massive Darkness video tomorrow, though.
Nice. All right, Tim the Dad is joining us now. Like I said, he had some computer issues there. Tim, real quick, before we get talking about the pirate games, anything that you've been playing in preparation for stuff on your channel?
Let's see. Well, we devote the entire month of September to pirate games, so most of the games that we have been playing have been pirate-oriented. So I'll just wait and talk about those when we talk about Pirate Day.
Okay. And for myself, I got the chance to get together with my friend Chris, who's one of my contributors on the channel, and Friday night we played just a couple of two-player games, Cartouche Dynasties from Small Box Games, which at this point you'll have to, if you want to get a copy of it, you're going to have to wait for Colossal Games to reprint it. And then we played a game called Four Seasons from Pegasus Spiele, something that was like an impulse buy that I picked up at Gen Con. And we also played Fox in the Forest, which is a two-player trick-taking game. So those are the things that we've been playing. So anyways, real quick, before we jump into stuff, I want to say hello to our friend over in Macedonia, Daniel. I don't even know how to pronounce his last name. I'm going to probably slaughter it. It's, I think, Kiprinovsky.
That's probably that's better than what I would be able to do. Everybody knows I'm the notorious name butcherer, so
yeah,
that was pretty good.
So I know that he jumped in and watched our playthrough for Sail Away, so we were talking about it. But anyways, so this past weekend we had an event that all three of us were at. It was actually hosted by Mr. Tim the Dad. So why don't you tell us about your Pirate Day?
Well, it's not just mine. It belongs to the world. This is International Play Like a Pirate Day. It's always on the Saturday before Talk Like a Pirate Day, which is actually today. But what I do is I host a few friends at my house to celebrate that in honor of Pirate Day. We play pirate games, obviously. We start early, we finish late. We talk like pirates. We dress like pirates. We eat like pirates.
I drink like a pirate.
Yeah, you still got home in one piece, which is good.
That's
no,
good.
But there's International Play Like a Pirate Day. There's actually a Facebook group for it, for people that can post their experiences. They can talk about the events that they're having. I know there are game stores that will have events for this. Mainly, it's I think mostly just people getting together with their family and friends and having a good time, right? Y'all had a good time?
Oh, I had a great time.
Yeah, really fun.
And it's an excuse to get together and maybe just play some of those classic games that don't hit the table very often, like Merchants and Marauders or Jamaica or Pirates Cove, those sort of things. So it's a lot of fun. So if you were not able to take part in that day this year, look forward to it next year. Like I said, we have a Facebook group, so go out and join the Facebook group. You can see what we do in preparation for it. We talk about it. We give ideas on possibly new games that are coming out that you might want to play on Pirate Day. food ideas to help theme your pirate day. So check it out.
Awesome. All right. So, in getting with that, let's talk about our experiences with Play Like a Pirate Day, which again, we all three of us happen to be able to get together at Tim's house. So, for those of you who don't know, the three of us live. Each of us lives about 2.5 hours from each other. So it's like if you can imagine a triangle between up near Chicago, down near Indianapolis, and going across into central Illinois, that's where the three of us are located at. And so it's all for pretty much, actually, it's about 2 hours, maybe a little bit further for Tim to get over to Tim's house, the two Tims to get together. But anyways, while we were there, let's talk about some of the games that we played. And so I want to start off with our host. So Tim, the dad, what did you get a chance to play at Pirate Day?
Well, probably the game that I played most was a game that I got at Gen Con called X Marks the Spot. Now, this is a little game from Rather Dashing. It's a lot of fun. You have cards that kind of look like dominoes. You each have a secret pirate symbol. You're representing one of the notorious pirates. And the idea is to create 3 X's on the board that you're creating with the cards. When you create an X, then you put a gold doubloon on that to mark it, and you're trying to block other players. There's Krakens, and there's ghost ships, and there's open water. So it's a lot of fun. We've been playing this the last week at work. I posted a lot of pictures of us playing this on the Dad versus Daughter Facebook group. So you're looking for one of those simple little card games with a pirate theme. X Marks the Spot should hit the spot. Another game I want to talk about is the only game that I actually won at Play Like a Pirate Day, which is King's Gold. Now, this is a game that I got from my buddy Chris, who you've seen in a lot of our videos recently, especially our Game of the Week editions. This is a game where you are rolling dice, kind of Yahtzee style, where you're trying to get certain combos, and if you can get those, and you get to take money out of the treasure chest. Otherwise, you also have to pay the king his gold. You can steal from the king. So this was a lot of fun. I was a little sad that this was the only game I won because it's a small little game, but it was enhanced. My buddy Chris, he is the king of bling, and he's got these gold doubloons he got off of Amazon. They are really cool. They have a little bit of weight to them. They're metal. They've got pirate symbols on them. So I think that really enhanced the gameplay. Plus, we had a pirate chest that we put the gold into. So everybody kind of got into that. So that was a lot of fun. And then the first game that we actually played on Play Like a Pirate Day was one of my all-time favorite games, and is probably my favorite pirate game of all time, and that is Merchants and Marauders. Now, this is a game that I will be having on the Dad versus Daughter channel very soon. It won't be a playthrough, but it'll be an explanation on how to play the game, plus a review from me, as well as a few members of my play group. So other games that I've played on Pirate Day, let's see, we played Cannon Busters, and we played Sail Away. Trying to think of anything else I played. There were some games that I did not get to play that I really wanted to, like Black Fleet. I was hoping Tim the Elephant was going to be able to teach me, but we kind of ran out of time there.
Table Con, I promise.
And then Grog Island actually got played a couple of times, but I was never in that group that got to play that, so kind of missed out on playing that. But, all in all, I had a good time, played pirate games. Yar.
So I guess I'll go next for what I played. So when I got there, they were wrapping up with Merchants and Marauders, and shortly after that, we jumped in with Dread Curse from Smirk and Dagger Games, which is well, Smirk and Dagger is definitely if you want to screw people over, that's the company that you want to get games from. And so it was interesting. I thought I had a pretty good stash of coins, and I had some a good amount of value to some pirate code cards in my hand. So I decided to cut and run, and this other guy in the group, James, was so kind as to play a card that made me have to shuffle up my pirate code cards and deal them out to all the other players. So I lost about 14 points in cards when I decided to cut and run, and so I was not even in the running with that. But still, it was a fun game. It's kind of a role selection game. After we got done with that, I'm sorry. Before we played Dread Curse, I also played King's Gold with Chris's King of Bling copy, which was that was a lot of fun with the metal coins and just a lot of just rolling dice. And I ended up rolling 3 X marks the spot, so that was pretty bad. And then we also got a chance to play Sail Away, which if you get a chance to check out actually on our channel, we filmed a playthrough, a live play of that game with the 3 of us. So it's from designer Marc Andre, who was he has done Splendor, and he's done Barony, and he did Majesty for the Realm. So this one, it's from Mattel Games. I'll just hold it up right here. Sail Away. This one was a lot of fun. Definitely want to check this one out. I think this is a very much an underappreciated game currently on BGG. And then the last game that I got a chance to play was Sea of Clouds from IELLO, and we'll be talking more about that later on. But a really cool drafting game. My copy has all the promos and stuff that I had done, that I had gotten from Origins last year playing in the event. So I got a chance to share the love with the love cards too. So that was pretty fun. How about you, Mr. Elephant? Tell us about the games that you played.
Well, the first one that I played was, what was that one, Dad? What was it called? HMS Dolores?
Yeah, I didn't actually get to play that one.
I played that one first, which was a rather interesting game. It was all about kind of like you're trying to make sets in front of yourself, and the way you'll gather more cards is that you'll put like 4 cards out, 2 in front of your opponent and 2 in front of you, and then there's like these handshakes. There's hand signs you'll make, and depending on what hand sign you put out, so you'll basically go like 1, 2, 3, shoot, and if you put out like a fist and your opponent put out like a handshake, then you would like get all the cards. If you both put out a handshake, you would both just get the 2 cards that were in front of you. So it's about, you're going to talk with each other, try to bluff, and hey, I only want this 1 card, so I'll let you have the rest. But it's whether or not you're actually going to follow through with whatever hand signal that you say you're going to go with. And it went I thought the whole game was rather friendly, and I think it's one of those ones that if you did play with some people that were a little bit more cutthroat, I think it would be one of those ones you'd be absolutely laughing your butt off, even though we did have a really good time. After we finished with that, we did go into Sail Away, and we played, in fact, 2 games of that. And what was funny was, as we're playing the game, David, that was his copy that we played, and he gets on Board Game Geek and finds a copy on Amazon for like, what, $9?
Yeah, it was $9.
eBay. It was on eBay for $9 with free shipping. So I immediately just bought it. And believe it or not, I ordered it on Saturday, and it showed up on my doorstep on Sunday. So this is my copy. Now, you want to hear what's funny? The rule book's German, though. So good thing I already knew how to play. I'll have to go on to Board Game Geek. They've got the rules there in English. I'll print those off. After we finished with that, we played Cannon Buster, which that's the video we just did do on our channel. And it's another fun game. Now, I would say this about Sail Away and Cannon Buster. I think that they work better with more than just 2-player. They're okay with 2-player, but they're much, much better when you have 3 to 4 players with both of them. And I believe that ended up doing it for me. I don't remember playing anything beyond that. Oh, Sea of Clouds. We played Sea of Clouds 2 times as well. That's right, because I won both times, didn't I? Yeah, I was like the idiot savant of Sea of Clouds. But yeah, it was a lot of fun. I like Sea of Clouds a lot.
Nice. So yeah, so that's some of the stuff that we were playing at the Play Like a Pirate Day. But while we're on the theme or subject of pirate games, let's talk about maybe like our top 3 pirate games. We'll start with Tim the Dad. Your 3 favorite pirate themed games.
Well, I will give honorable mention to several games because they are right up there, almost in the top three. The first honorable has to be Francis Drake. I mean, this thing is a beast, and I know that it was played at Pirate Day. I did not get a chance to play it this year. I did play it last year, but it's an awesome game. Another honorable mention I'll give, and I think Tim's going to talk about this one later, is Libertalia. That one's a lot of fun. So my number 3 would be Jamaica, which there's going to be an expansion coming out for this very soon. It is a racing game. It's one that we've already done on our channel, so go and check it out. You're racing around the island of Jamaica. You're trying to pick up treasure. You're able to screw your neighbor over in some cases, so that's always fun. My second favorite game, which I think Tim also may be talking about, is Pirates Cove. Now, this is a game I played last year at Pirate Day, did not get a chance to play it this year. This is where you're going to be sailing around to different islands, and you're going to be either increasing your cannons or increasing your sails or picking up cargo, and you're burying treasure on Treasure Island. So this is a lot of fun, my number 2. And then I kind of gave away my number 1 earlier, and that is Merchants and Marauders. This, I think, has everything you would want in a pirate game. You can be a straightforward merchant. You can go bad. You can go pirate. You can attack your other players. You can attack merchant ships. You can attack other ships of state. You are doing a pick up and deliver. You're trying to get gold so that you can get glory points. A lot of fun. Really, really like this game. So next year, hopefully, I'll have the expansion. We'll do a show on that. But this will be coming out on our channel, like I said, probably within the next several days, by the weekend, definitely. So that is my top 3 pirate games. Tim, Elephant, how about you?
Yeah, you did. You named off a few of them. I don't necessarily think I have a favorite pirate game, but one I know that you didn't mention is one that I do enjoy is Black Fleet. This is by Space Cowboy, and I know you got that on your shelf as well. And this one is a really beautiful board with some really great ship pieces that you sail around. One of your ships is a cargo ship, and the other is a pirate ship. And you're going to basically use your pirate ship to try to sink the other player's cargo ships, and then your cargo ship's going to be trying to deliver goods back and forth. And whomever ends up finishing their objective cards first, by basically as you deliver the goods, you'll get money. And as you deliver the goods, you get the money. You can pay that money to upgrade your ships, and those are your objectives as well. And once you finish your last objective, that would actually end the game, and then you count up the victory points and everything at the end of that. But that game's super fun. Now, it's a 3 to 4 player game, though, and that's probably the only downside about it. Herman and I did play 2-player where we both controlled 2 of each of the merchant ships and 2 of the pirate ships, but it's not quite as fun. It's really a game that shines really a 4-player. Libertalia was another one that you had just mentioned. This is a really good game. And this is actually by, I know it's Asmodee at one time, but Marbuda, however you even say that. It's the ant down there. See the ant?
Marabunta.
Yeah. Anyways, well, this one's an action selection roll. So basically what you're going to do is you're going to take a card, and everybody has the exact same cards in their hand, and each person's going to select a card. Then you place it down onto the board, and depending on which order you fall into, depends on which types of goods you're going to be able to, or how your selection order of being able to collect in on the goods of that day. And then it goes through a whole week, and I believe it goes over the course of 3 weeks, and it's a lot of fun. I think I'm going to probably leave Sail Away because I believe Dave's going to talk about that, but the one we just did do was the Cannon Buster, and I really enjoyed this one quite a bit. Once again, it's a game that you've got to have. It's a role selection game, but it plays okay with 2, but it really does need that 4th player, I think, to be able to shine, because otherwise it starts to lose some of that value to it, to where you're just basically attacking just each other. And you guys remember when we played and 2 of the cannons were a little bit different, and that one would attack everybody? Well, yeah. In a 2-player game, they're the same, so it doesn't really matter, and that does kind of take away some of the fun of the game. And then, of course, you did talk about Pirate Cove. This was the actual first pirate game that I ever owned, was Pirate Cove, and I still have it to this day. It's a Days of Wonder game, a beautiful board. This game, what's really fun is those moments whenever you have where you're always trying to select the island that you want to go to. And whichever island you go to, you're going to be able to get a treasure card, and you're going to be able to upgrade your ship. So like a certain island can be where you can get more crew, another island where you can increase your sails, another island where you can increase your cargo hold. And what's really fun about that is that you select what your destination is secretly, but then everybody reveals at the same time. And you always want to be that guy who gets to the island by himself, because you collect all that treasure and you're able to upgrade and your ship takes no damage. But it just never seems to fail that everybody always goes to the same island, and there's these huge funny battles. The battle is kind of wonky and it's very luck based, but boy, it is an awful fun game to play. So yeah, I know I did 4 of them there, but and then of course I was going to save the other ones for Dave.
All right.
Well, the other great thing that I really like about Pirates Cove is, you know, like you said, you're picking your island in secret, but you also kind of get an idea of where the other players need to go, especially if their ship has already been damaged there. So me being the piratey guy that I am, especially if I'm playing with my buddy Jeff, if I see an island that he needs to go to, I'm deliberately picking that island just so I can blow his ship out of the water.
Nice. Nice. So, yeah, I actually got Pirates Cove in a trade from my friend Chris, but I have not had a chance to play that. So I guess TableCon will have to play Pirates Cove.
It'll be Pirate Day 2.0 at TableCon.
There you go. So for me, it's I have, you know, like my favorite pirate themed games. I think right about the same. 2 of them together, Jamaica and Black Fleet. I really like both of those games. Unfortunately, I don't have either one of those in my collection anymore. They're still in my gaming group, but the reason I parted with Black Fleet because you needed to have 3 or more players. At the time, I wasn't really playing with a regular group to get that out, so it was very difficult to hit the table, and so I just had decided to move it along. And same thing, I think Jamaica, I ended up, the game was in demand because it was out of print, and I had an opportunity to trade for something that I really, really wanted. And again, Jamaica's in my group, but I really like both of those. I like the whole racing aspect and stuff. But some other ones, real quick, Dead Man's Draw. This is just kind of an honorable mention. Really cool Press Your Luck game from Mayday Games. I like that one. But the main pirate games that I really like, Sail Away from Mattel Games. Our idiot savant over there, the elephant, he won the game. And the interesting thing was that he won the game and he only sailed 3 ships, which you have to sail 5 in order to win to score the points. And he just, the way that he played the game, he did extremely well with getting a lot of coins. And he was using his brain, but man, it was just a really simple, just not really a pick up and deliver. It's really like a resource gathering game. You're going out and trying. It's almost like worker placement, really light worker placement ish game, placing crates on the board. There is an element of take that in the game because you can claim these enlist the help of pirates to do different things. Some of them are ongoing effects. Some of them are one-time things that will give you a benefit. And you can also decide to place one of your pirate tiles on top of somebody else. And when an island is claimed, they either have to pay you 2 coins to get his fat butt off there. Otherwise, if you don't, then you get kicked out and he gets to take the resources. So really kind of a fun game. If you haven't had a chance to check it out, really do that. I think that it's a really cool game, very much family friendly. And then probably one of my favorite pirate games, this is like my go-to game, Sea of Clouds, which we're going to talk about a little bit more. But this one is really neat. I'll just save more information about this when we actually talk about this as a group. So those are my top pirate games. So on the subject of that, though, is there any pirate themed game that let's put it this way, kind of needs to be deep 6, needs to go to Davy Jones' locker, kind of one that's a dud for you, misfired cannon, if you will?
Yeah, I've not really run across any that I haven't liked. Most of them I have in my collection that are the only ones that I've really played. I'm not recalling any that I have played that I don't have that I obviously would not have liked. What about you, Tim?
What are we talking about specifically? Just pirate games we don't like, or just the games in
Just
general?
like one that was like a pirate game that just doesn't really do much for you. Like just the game itself is just blah.
Oh, if Caverna K vs. K was a pirate game, there you go. It'd be my most hated game ever.
Oh man, you really, really do not like that one.
I think I hate everything Caverna.
Yeah.
Which is better, Caverna or photosynthesis?
I'd play photosynthesis before I'd play Caverna.
Wow.
I hate that game.
Yeah. Well, I think for me, like I said, the one pirate game that completely just, I think it just stinks is Rattle Battle Grab the Loot. I got that one. We had it to play with the kids.
Oh man, I forgot about that one, Dave. Yeah, that one is a stinker.
Yeah. We went to go play it, and seriously, I had my kids, my niece and nephews live with us, and so they were at the time they're like 8 and 10 years old, and 8 and 9, and I figured, all right, let's play Rattle Battle Grab the Loot. You get to drop the dice in there and see what happens. I swear we could not. We played the introductory mission, which is like a shortened version of everything else. They were bored with that. They thought it was really dumb. They're like, it's you drop dice. It's like, okay, what? You don't really get a chance to move them. I mean, I guess you can sort of move them around, but it's like, oh, we moved this dice. Okay, well now it's going to get blown up. It was just I think it was just the dumbest game that was out there.
Yeah, Rattle
for pirate theme. And then the worst part is that as the game sits on the shelf, the way that the manufacturing quality, the box starts to dish, and you use the box top for all your games. So when you drop it, they all scatter to the outside corner, so nothing's in range.
Bummer, man. Yeah, that game, I remember demoing it at Origins before it was actually released, and I just was like, yeah, okay. That's a big pass.
Yeah, we did a show on it last year in ramping up for Pirate Day, and I remember I just thought it was okay. Megan, I think she said it was okay, but I don't think she really enjoyed it that much. She definitely did not want to play it again.
Well, that's a no then.
Yeah. Sadly, the thing is, I think it was IDW put out, it's called Pirates of the Seven Seas,
Yep.
and it has the same dice dropping mechanic as Rattle Battle Grab the Loot. In fact, the designer came up with that. Ignacy Trevicek of Portal Games licensed that. He was able to use that mechanic, basically purchase a license, use the dice dropping mechanic. And that game has actually got lower ratings than Rattle Battle Grab the Loot. I mean, that one, that's like a complete flop. So I guess the dropping dice in a box lid is not really something that people want to do.
We'll scratch that off the list.
Yeah. So, anyways, well, enough of I guess just trashing one of the games. I just thought if there was anything that was just kind of fell flat for you guys. Anything else that you want to talk about with the pirate stuff before we move on to Sea of Clouds?
Nope, I'm ready.
All right. Let's do it.
Okay, Sea of Clouds. This is published by IELLO Games. Came out 2016. I think it was early 2016. Belgian designer named Theo Riviera. He's actually got a new game coming out in the early part of 2018 called Sentai Cats, and it's basically like this cat game where they're dressed up looks like Power Rangers in latex suits or something like that. But anyways, Sea of Clouds is it's a drafting game. Uses the Winston drafting mechanic where there's like 3 piles that they call it loot, and you're going to start off looking at the first stack. If you like the cards that are there, you're going to take them. Otherwise, you put it back down. A card gets added to it, and you go on to the next stack, and then through the third one. If you don't like any of those, you're just going to take the card off the top of the deck. Now, the interesting thing with this is that the backs of the cards tell you what type of cards there. There's 4 different types of cards that are in the game. There's pirates, there are treasures, relics, and rum. And in with the treasures are also like these secrets that have end of game scoring things. And so over the course of the game, you're trying to draft these cards, build them in your tableau to score some points. And then over the course, every so often during the game, you have what's called a boarding action, and the pirates battle it out, and then they you compare strengths of pirates, and then whoever wins the battles, that each of the pirates have their own little abilities, and they activate, and then the pirates go away. And you do this through several rounds throughout the game. But essentially what happens is you're trying to collect points throughout the game, and then at the end you're going to add up, like there's sets of relics that you're trying to collect. Depending upon how many you get, you score points. You have a bunch of rum that's going to be hidden. The values are hidden. Those are revealed at the end of the game. And also these secrets that you pick up along the way that give you some goals to try and score at the end of the game. And that's pretty much the gist of the game. But thoughts on it? We'll start with Tim the Dad, because you've got a chance to play it. You played it with your lunch group too. So we'll start with you. Your thoughts?
Yeah, this is a game that I picked up right after Origins, really for Play Like a Pirate Day. I know that I had talked to you about it. You were speaking highly of it, so got it, and then it sat on my shelf until last Friday. So learned the game, introduced it to my group. We were able to play it over lunch. Everyone really enjoyed it. Got it out at on Play Like a Pirate Day. I think it might have actually seen more plays than any other game that day, at least here. I know I played 2 games of it. I lost both games, but I like it. I like the aspect of the kind of the push your luck, because if you decide not to take the first pile and you move on to the second, you place a new card on top of the third. Unless you've already got 3 cards there, then you start placing money on there. So you're pushing your luck, trying to get some better cards. Also, you're watching what your neighbors are doing, because kind of like in Seven Wonders, you're going to have several battle phases where you've got to have more might than they do. So you're only concerned about who's on your left and who's on your right. So I may forego trying to get some of the treasure, because I can see that there's a pirate card that's coming up, and I want to make sure that I get that muscle. So I really enjoy that aspect, having those decisions to make. The other ones, if I decide I don't want to go the pirate route and say that I'm collecting certain relics that offer more points the more that you collect, or certain rum. There's a top shelf rum where if you have the majority, each of your top shelf rum scores 3 points apiece, while if you don't have the majority, it only scores 1. So there's several strategies that you can try to employ throughout the game. So that's another thing I like about it. It's very easy to learn. It's easy to teach. It's family friendly. I think this is a gateway game that anybody could play. Everybody that has played it that I know of really enjoys it. Looking forward to playing it again. Unfortunately, this will probably sit on my shelf until next year, close to Pirate Day. So probably won't get a lot of plays on it. But no, we really enjoy it. Definitely a thumbs up from me. So let's pass it over now to Captain Jack Elephant and see what he thinks.
I thought it was enjoyable. I really did. I think what's really interesting is that I only played it 2 times, and the 2 times were obviously on Saturday. I won both times, so obviously it's a very well-designed game. But I did think what was interesting was that the first time I won, I was going for a variety of different types of cards, not just pirate cards and winning in combat. In fact, I didn't win a whole lot in combat in my first game. I only won the first round. After that, I lost the second and third round. But I did collect a lot of the rum. I did a little bit of set collection, and then I did some of the relics. In the second game that I played, though, I really focused a lot on the combat. And I collected up so many pirates that I basically just discouraged the person to my left and the right to even go for them, which then allowed me to even collect more pirates. And when that's the case, all you're doing is you're collecting so much money. And keep in mind, this money is victory points. So what I was able to do is I was at I think between two of the battles, I was able to collect up to like 25 coins just between the two in the battle phase alone, which was absolutely phenomenal. But what was funny was in the second game, I didn't have hardly any relics. I still had some of the rum. In fact, I had the majority of top shelf rum in both my first and second game. So I did get 12 points both times from that alone. But I did not have any of the set collect cards in my second game, though. So, yeah, I think that's what I thought was really fun about it was that, it's not just one, linear path to victory. You can win in several different fashions.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah, when we played on Saturday, I only played it once on this past Saturday, but I've played the game I think a dozen times now over the course of the year for a while. At least I have for my log plays. I might have even played it more. I just might not have logged it. But very interesting thing. I had a very, very low score on Saturday, and that was because I was trying to collect the different relics and they just weren't coming to me. They were, and so by the time it was time to go and get anything else, I missed out on that. So I just ended up paying for it. But Tim, the interesting thing that you said, there are definitely different paths of victory to win this game. There's different things that you can do, and a very viable strategy is going heavy on the pirates and going for the combat. I know my nephew won a game doing that. Every time the pirates came around, he just grabbed them all and had a whole bunch of them, and so you can do that. But definitely, every time that I've played, I've had a different outcome. Sometimes my scores have been high, sometimes they've been low. But every time I've really had a chance to enjoy it. Now, when we did get a chance to play the game, I just wanted to show off a couple of things. So if you ever do go to the conventions and you have a copy of Sea of Clouds and you want to trick out your game, or maybe they're even in the BGG promo store, they have these cards they're love cards. So they've got these pink hearts on the back, and there's 3 of them. There's a kitty, there's a unicorn, and then there's this love ray. And essentially what these do is they come out and they give you something that you're going to be drawing cards or doing something, and it's going to be beneficial for everybody. So these were kind of fun promos that I got. And then also 2 additional player boards. So we have this one here, Callie Khan, and also we have Lurch Cassidy. So these were a couple extra pirates. And then you can see on the board here, when we talked about the different types of cards, they all have symbols on them, and you line them up around your player board accordingly. And so this is a really good way to keep things organized, just acting as a centerpiece on there. Now, when we played the game, and I know that Tim, you experienced this, there's one thing that was kind of not really a disappointment, but a little bit of a clunker that throws the game, throws a little wrench in it, is that there is the potential to run out of cards during the round. And I've had it happen a couple of times. And essentially what happens, we go through all the cards, and what happens when there's nothing to choose, the remaining rounds, you just have to draw a coin. And so, there is no rule in the book that says, if the cards run out, just go have one last boarding action and do a final scoring. And what did you think of that, Tim? I know that you experienced it. I don't know if Tim, the dad, if you experienced that yet or not.
It's kind
running out of the cards.
It's kind of a bummer, because I actually thought maybe I had screwed up and I forgot to move the round marker, and maybe that's why we ran out of cards. But yeah, you said it happened in some of your games as well, so I guess that's not the case. Yeah, it seems like there needs to be more cards in the deck to prevent that from occurring.
Yeah, I've never had that happen in any of the games that I've played.
So, anyways, well, let's talk about this. We talked about the game, we talked about the mechanics. Production quality is pretty good, although I have got my cards are starting to have a little bit of folding on there, but nothing too major. Anyways, final thoughts or thoughts on the game, Tim, the dad, start with you.
Well, one of the other mechanical parts of the game I didn't touch on that I actually kind of like is you can look at the draw deck and find out what types of cards are coming up. It says in the rules, so you just can't flip the card and see what's on the other side. But sometimes you're going to want to have a certain card, so you're going to start passing cards just so that you can play cards to get them off of the deck to get to the card that you really want. So that's another neat thing I like about it. But talking about the artwork on the cards, it's kind of more cartoony, and I think it works okay. Don't have any issues with that. As far as the player boards, they're fine. Haven't played my copy yet, so I'm not seeing anywhere, or I've only played my copy twice or 3 times, so I'm not seeing any wear on the cards or anything there. So no issues. What about you, Tim?
I think for me, I think overall it's a really fun game. Obviously, like I said, I won both games, so it is a well-designed, well-balanced game that truthfully, it very well could be the absolute #1 game on Board Game Geek. I don't know if there's a better game than this. Very difficult, super difficult decisions that you really have to think really hard on, that you have to outwit and outsmart everybody at the table. And of course, I'm just being facetious here, people. I do think, though, that it is a lot of fun. I do think it's one of those ones where, especially when you're trying to go for the set collecting, and when somebody takes one of your cards, like early on, I was trying to go for the Siren Song, and lo and behold, there's old David, and he comes along and he starts going for the Siren Song. And if you don't get enough of them, you're actually going to accumulate negative points. So I ended up, I think, veering away from that and trying to do something else afterwards. But it's really fun whenever you're trying to go for the set collection, because everybody works as a group to try to prevent you from getting all those cards, because they are worth so many points at the end of the game. So I think it's really cool because, like Tim the Dad was saying, that you can see the backs of the cards, kind of what is, you got a general idea what's in the stack, but sometimes those aren't good cards and they are not going to work well with what you're trying to do. So you have to try to play that, what's the smart play here? Do I go ahead and take the chance and grab it in hopes that I will get something that I want? Or do I, keep moving on and play, do the safer bet, which is, probably just trying to collect the rum like I did. So, yeah, I think it's a lot of fun. I love set collection games, and I think this one does it perfectly.
Yeah. So I think my thoughts on this, because I probably have the most experience of playing this one of the 3 of us. This was when I first played it was March of 2016. It had just come out. It was playing it at my local game store. I played it one time. I'm like, oh man, I really like this. I got to have it. However, this game is you can come up with an initial impression of how the game is after one play, but you can't really form a final opinion on one play, because you really don't know all the cards that are in the deck. And so if somebody just plays the game one time and they're going to try and pass off a review on it, they're really not going to see the game. And you start to see it even within the second play and even plays after that. The more that the cards that are in the deck, the cards that are in the game, you start to have strategies start coming out. You have ideas of what you're going to do. Some of the nasty cards that are in there, and you start to learn that, well, if I get one, I know how to use it. Like there's one there's like a cursed idol that makes you have to discard cards. Well, you could start drafting stuff that that your opponents are going to want that you're not even going for, and just discard those, and they're just watching those cards go down the drain. So it's kind of an interesting thing that you can do in playing the game. I think the game is a very, very simple game to play. This was my go-to game. We played it a bunch of times, like early on when it first came out, and then I played it at Origins, and then in last year, and then I did get a chance to play it a couple more times. But it is really, really just a fun game that has multiple paths to victory. It's got a nice, good amount of player interaction to it too. So that's my thoughts on Sea of Clouds. So do you guys have anything else on Sea of Clouds, or that's pretty much it?
I'm good. Good game.
Okay.
Fun.
All right. So anyways, as we wrap the show up here, let's talk about things that we've got coming up on our channel. Tim the Dad, we'll start with you.
So we're going to close out September with a couple more pirate games, looking at having a playthrough of X Marks the Spot and Pirates of the Caribbean Battleship. So we'll see how that plays. I've not actually played it yet, but looks like it plays like regular Battleship, except there are cards that are going to affect certain things. So interested in checking that out. And then, of course, The month of October, we always do our spooky games. So I know we are going to be doing a couple from Rather Dashing, like This Belongs in a Museum because it has a mummy in it. And we are also going to be doing Graveyards, Ghosts, and Haunted Houses, as well as Pandemic Reign of Cthulhu. So if you like the spooky games, make sure you check our channel out during the month of October. Tim, what do you got?
Just looking forward to it. You know, I'm always one of those guys that I don't plan too far ahead. I just have to do it on how do I feel this week and what am I thinking, you know, hey, that one looks interesting. Let's get it to the table. We definitely are going to be filming another quest for Massive Darkness this week. So you can look forward to that being out by this weekend, which I'm super excited about because we'll be in Quest 2. Just like what you were talking about, I've been speaking with Carmen about doing for October, one spooky game a week doing a video on. So we're setting up our line, you know, for that. So we'll have 4 spooky games that we'll be doing. I don't think they're going to be like, we're not going to do anything like super deep and difficult. It's going to be pretty light games for the most part, but it'll still be fun. So that's something to look forward to for next month. But yeah, this week will just be Massive Darkness, and then after that, I know I do have like Kickstarter for Guardian Call. That's going to be coming up. That's for Druid City Games, and that one looks really neat. And then, God, I just can't remember, to be honest, off the top of my head. I'd have to go upstairs and look at my stuff. What about you, Dave?
Let's see. Well, it's kind of been interesting because I have a team of contributors that also do stuff, and so my one guy, Timothy Gay, lives down in Savannah, Georgia. He was kind of displaced by Hurricane Irma, and then because they thought originally it was going to go there, so he evacuated. So I think he's going to be getting back on track here pretty soon. And then my other contributor, Chris, his father passed away night before last, so I think he's kind of going to be on pause for now. But I know we're working on putting some finishing touches on some video for the Ticket to Ride Europe versus Markland and a review for that. And then I know we're going to be working on Whistle Stop. I want to get that played so we can get a review for that one.
I like that one a lot. I think you're going to like that one.
So that's going to be, we're going to be playing that on Friday. And then I'm going to be dropping, I'm going to actually start back up a segment that's over on my written blog. I'm going to start doing these backpack picks for small games that you could take on the go. They could be played in small spaces. It was something that I used to do. I got away from it, and so I want to start bringing that back. So look for one of those to drop next week as well. So that's what's coming up for us. Anyways, for any of you guys out there watching, if you want to make sure you check us all out, like our own individual channels. We've got Dad versus Daughter, we've got Gray Elephant Gaming, and we've got To the Table Gaming with family and friends. You could find those all on YouTube. We all have our own Facebook pages as well. So make sure you connect with us there. We post some things up there, and make sure that you subscribe to this one as well. We've got some things that are going to be coming up. I know we've got some scheduled things that we're planning on getting together. The 3 of us will all be in the same location, so we'll be doing some more playthroughs. So look for that kind of stuff as well. And I think a couple weeks, what will be in October, you'll just have to watch the Facebook page, see what the topic is going to be for our show. So anyways, I'll give you guys all a chance to say goodbye, and we will sign off. All right. So start with Tim the Dad.
All right. It's Tim the Dad. Catch you guys later.
All right, Mr. Elephant.
See you guys later. Bye-bye. Thanks for watching.
All right, and this is Dave, and thank you guys for watching, and we will see you soon. Thanks. Bye-bye.